Yes, sir, we promised you a great main event here tonight.
Andres, a giant. WrestleMania!
Hulkamania is running wild.
My God, what a run! It's not over. The world is watching.
You're looking at the real deal now. Gonna kick this sorry ass out on the street. What you got? You used to think you owned the street. We'll pack your bags and your ass is dead meat. Victory sweet.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lowdown Show, episode 107, right here on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, your Canadian wrestling podcast that talks about the WWE and NXT. And this week, Extreme Rules and no holds barred on anything we say, pun intended. I'm your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, as always. And I'm always I'm Kyle Masters. I forgot to say my name there. I'm always joined by my two co-hosts. Number one, he is the host that runs the West Coast, Hollywood Michael Chow.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say that I'm back. That's right. I have just been reinstated into the No Holds Barred Hall of Fame. So thank you, guys. Thanks for letting me apologize, okay? But, whew, I'm back.
We had to discuss that for a while. We also got our main event, modern-day Maharaja, Brian. What's going on, bud?
What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. And I love you all more than Sasha loves Bailey.
Oh, my God. Wait. Was that even... No, that wasn't on Extreme Rules. They didn't even have a match. I'm pretty sure they didn't have a match. No, they're left off the 6.5 hour long pay-per-view, you know. Can't fit that on there because it looks like their agenda is to fit every single goddamn match on the card, so why not? Why couldn't we fit them in there?
Well, according to my sources, Joey Numbers, I've heard that they were actually in counseling while the pay-per-view was going on.
Who is
Joey Numbers? Taz's old source. You remember that? During SmackDown, you used to talk about Joey Numbers?
No, I don't even like remembering Taz.
I mean,
Joey Styles?
No,
Joey Ryan?
Okay, this joke did not work out as well as I planned. But no, on SmackDown, Brian, I think you remember, he used to always talk about this guy called Joey Numbers. He used to say, oh, yeah, Vegas. Oh, my sources, Joey Numbers, would say this and that. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, before we start the podcast, we are sponsored by ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. Go check them out. They are official sponsor. They have awesome WWE merchandise. They got T-shirts, pendants, anything in stock right now. And make sure you use the code NOHOLDS at checkout, and you can save yourself 10% on your order. And one fan a month will receive a free gift with their purchase from ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. Also, go check out our friends at WrestleRumble.com, guys. They do a fantastic pick'em every single WWE pay-per-view. If you would join the Extreme Rules pick'em one this past Sunday, they had some awesome prizes for that. So go follow them on Twitter and check out WrestleRumble.com. Guys, if you want to listen to the podcast, we are available on multiple sources. Number one, Spreaker is a glorious podcast app. It's where we're doing our live show right now. You can chat with us live on the air in the live chat. As I can see in the live chat, we have Datila. We also have Tiffany from That Ass Podcast here. So go check them out and give them some love to those guys. So also you can follow us on Stitcher Radio, also iTunes. And iTunes, guys, if you leave a 5-star rating and a comment, you'll receive a special small gift from us at the podcast. So make sure you let us know you gave us a 5-star rating and a comment, and then we'll be in touch with you for your gift. So guys, go check us out on iTunes, please. Or if you are a YouTube person, go over to youtube.com/NHBWR. All our podcasts are uploaded on there, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon for all upload updates. And we are fresh this week from the usual 3 shows and Extreme. I'm still going to call it Extreme Fools because we were all fooled once again. Well, sort of. There were some extreme moments, not as much as there should be in a gimmick pay-per-view. We all know how we feel about that. Me and I'm guessing you two as well, guys. Gimmick pay-per-views to me, if they're not going to live up to what the gimmick pay-per-view is, it should go. Like, they just get rid of it, change it to a former pay-per-view name, just get rid of the whole thing. Especially, like, my ramble about it is Hell in a Cell. To me, they should make that thing special, bring it out once every, like, 5 to 6 years, and make it bring it with a grudge feud, a.k.a. like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, have it, like, put it into a feud like that. To me, like, they do Hell in a Cell every year. It's just lost its touch. Like, Elimination Chamber as well. So I'm sure you guys feel the same way about gimmick pay-per-views.
I miss No Way Out, because that way you could use, like, any cage. You could use, like...
That's right.
Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell. Dare I say Punjabi Prison?
Yes, sir. I say they just bring back Taboo Tuesday.
Can we not bring back the Punjabi Prison? Because we all know who always comes out during these matches. Who's literally been in every single one in some capacity. Great Kali. And then I'm sitting here going, they really have to, right? They really have to incorporate someone Punjabi in a Punjabi prison match. You can't just have two guys from the United States performing a Punjabi prison match, right? I don't know. To me, that's just like, okay. It means nothing to me.
If we get another Punjabi match, that means more Jinder Mahal, and I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so... Go ahead, man.
No, I was just going to say, I still can't believe last year Great Khali appeared, and then the week after that, there was no explanation on why he was there, and there was no explanation on why he just suddenly disappeared. This is creative, people. This is what they come up with.
Shocking.
They're like,
a moment where WWE expect us to be stupid and forget. Forget. Anyway.
Speaking of being stupid and forget, how about Raw and SmackDown?
Hold up. We got to go over Extreme Fools first because
Extreme List Rules.
So my initial reaction after watching the pay-per-view was one. I have two reactions. One, I had the most. I can't even put it into good words here. I was like, okay, I expected what we got for Extreme Rules. I wasn't shocked. There was maybe a little tiny moment that I was shocked. Other than that, I expected everything that they put on tonight. I was like, yeah, it's what the booking's been like the last couple of weeks and I guess couple of months. I wasn't shocked or anything, and I wasn't happy. I wasn't mad. I was literally directly in the middle. It wasn't a good pay-per-view. It wasn't a bad pay-per-view. It was just a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, you know what? It was a little better than Raw, a little bit better than SmackDown. That's not saying much, but to me, it was more just it's something on TV to watch on a Sunday evening.
I mean, you're right.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, he's right. I was just gonna say he's right.
Oh yeah. For me, you guys aren't gonna hear much from me at the beginning because I actually missed half of Extreme Rules, and based off what everyone said, I refused to watch it. So, but the half I did see, for me, it's a lot matters on how you end the show, and that last match was good, but how they ended it, I was actually pretty disgusted. So we'll talk about that later, but yeah. For me, how a pay-per-view ends does matter. So Roman Reigns beating Samoa Joe in the main event, people walking out, well, that kind of says it all. So
although there wasn't a lot of extreme moments throughout the show, like there was more than I expected it. It's still, it didn't feel like, again, that's what we said, we should get rid of the gimmick pay-per-views. It didn't feel extreme. The ending was lackluster. It did not live up to the hype, in my opinion. It just wasn't in what we thought this Iron Man match was going to be. The crowd took over the ending, but I mean, why wouldn't they at the end? You're sitting there after 5.5 hours of mediocre, lackluster shit, and you get to the main event and you're expecting them right off the bat to be getting you invested into this match. But no, all he's got was mediocrity. Why wouldn't they try to take over and start counting down every 10 seconds when the clock would show 10 seconds? Like, I didn't blame them, and I've seen everyone shitting on him and shitting on the crowd, saying, oh, how can you do that to these two wrestlers? I'm like, they should be doing it to these two wrestlers because these two wrestlers in the ring are not giving us what we want from these two guys. They're holding back. This wasn't the Iron Man match that we were supposed to get. And why is an Iron Man match Main eventing an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and nothing about the entire match was extreme.
Yeah, there's a couple issues I had with that main event. I mean, to me, the crowd was probably the most entertaining part of the match.
Literally, they got the biggest pop tonight was when they put the clock back on. That
Yeah,
literally was
and
the biggest pop of the entire night.
I don't know if you guys have seen the video of when Ziggler has Rollins in a rest hold, and Ziggler's telling the ref it's worse than when the clock was on. I guess they turned off the clock for a while to try to get the fans to stop.
Crowd was chanting, "Where's the clock?" And then the river of chants started, and it was just like, yeah, they should be paying attention to the match. But again, I don't blame them because of what we got in the match. It was a decent match, but if you're gonna give me an Iron Man match with Ziggler and Rollins in the main event of a 5.5-hour pay-per-view, which featured Reigns, your top guy, in the middle of the card, you got to give me more what they gave us last Sunday. You literally have to give me more than that, because what we got out of that match was a mediocre. That was probably, to me, it's going to go down worse than the Orton and Cena Iron Man match. I'm telling you right now, because it had way too many pinfalls. That was bullshit. It literally ruined both credibility for both those guys in that match. That was way too many pinfalls. This match had the potential to be the 1-0 finish, or at least a 2-1 finish into overtime, and that's what we got at the end. We were tied, and then Kurt Angle coming out, giving us we're having a sudden death. I mean, they really didn't need to have that. Because
that was really dumb, because out of all the Iron Man matches I've seen, I think I've seen 2 where they've actually tied. It automatically went to overtime.
Yeah, again,
so
another moment where we're made to forget.
When JoJo said this ended in a draw and that the champion kept the belt, I was like, what the hell is this? Like,
and then Angle comes out because he doesn't want the match to end in a tie, but he's okay with McIntyre interfering and causing Rollins a match. Why not just be like, hey, no. That's not gonna happen. McIntyre, you're banned again. Restart the match again. No, he just lets it happen right in front of his face.
See, this is why I said that instead of McIntyre, it should have been Jason Jordan that caused the interference. That way, Kurt Angle, he wouldn't care because it's his son, right?
Yeah.
And then it would set up Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins, which we've all been kind of expecting. But, dude, it's like, they have nothing for Jason Jordan. They have nothing for Dean Ambrose. They're just like, they're clueless. They keep giving us matches we've already seen. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but shall we go through the card?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm not going to go through the entire card. We're going to just pick out some matches here, because if we go through the entire card, we're not going to have any time for anything else. So we'll pick up the things that stood out the most out of this entire pay-per-view. And obviously, we're going to talk about it next. The one thing that stood out throughout this entire pay-per-view, because one of the main factors was that what they pulled in the Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman match, idolizing the 20-year mark since the great spot in Hell in a Cell with Mankind and The Undertaker. They kind of recreated it in a way this time. I'm still on the fence on how I feel about that. I feel like it's almost, in a way, it's a rinse and repeat moment in a way. Like, they have to go and try to replicate something they've already done for a great spot to happen in Extreme Rules pay-per-view that's very lackluster. I mean, I did appreciate it, and I appreciate Kevin Owens putting his body on the line, and the awesomeness of that spot. Like, I popped for it. It's just like they really had to copy something they've already done before. Like, they really have nothing. It just shows how uncreative their creative team is, that they have to go back and do a spot that happened in the same city 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was the same arena as well, right? Same city.
I thought it was, but I think it happened. They had an old arena. I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh. I don't know if it was the same arena.
Oh, okay.
Either way,
okay.
same arena. Like they even talked about it on commentary. So.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It was a fun little nod to the history of the match, and I mean, there's only so many things you can do in or off of the cage. So to me, it wasn't that bad of a I guess tribute type of thing. It does get kind of old. I mean, we've seen it 1,000 times already. But I mean, what more can they really do, off of that thing?
Right. The one thing that grinded my gears though for this match, and it really grinds my gears. When wrestlers climb slow at moments where they should be rushing out of the cage, that really
with the guy that's handcuffed.
It just makes the wrestler look fucking stupid. Like,
Yep.
It literally made Kevin Owens look dumb. You just handcuffed Braun Strowman to the ring rope, who was having literally a tough time for a good 5 minutes with that thing. You're telling me you had no time in that 5 minutes that you could have climbed up and out of the cage. You had to sit there and taunt, act like an idiot, and climb the cage so slow that I even caught Kevin Owens looking back in the corner of his eye, waiting for the spot to happen where he ripped his hand off. Like ripping the cuffs.
Did Strowman go for an escape at all throughout the whole match?
I don't even think so.
I don't even think he... I mean, there was a point where he was tossing Owens into the side of the cage like 4 or 5 times. Owens was supposedly dead on the floor, and it's like, why not just walk right out of the cage?
I don't know. Michael, what did you feel about this?
For me, I gotta say that them throwing Kevin Owens off the cage, it was kind of like Kevin Owens is gonna win, but we gotta make Braun Strowman look good as Kevin Owens takes the win. Because as you know, Braun Strowman, this is actually going to be a loss for him since Brock Lesnar, so he hasn't lost to anyone in a long, long time. But it's almost as though they feel like if Kevin Owens were to successfully win this match and there's no big spot by Braun Strowman, we can't let that happen to Braun Strowman, that the fans will turn on him, which is, in a way, I think kind of stupid. This is almost the same. It is. It's almost the same as, and I'm going to spoil a little bit of Monday Night Raw, it's almost like Bobby Lashley winning over Roman Reigns. But Roman Reigns obviously is going to win when it counts next week, and we all know what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. It's like Roman Reigns is most likely 99%. It's going to be #1 contender next week, but Bobby Lashley can get the win at this pay-per-view. So, I don't know. It's creative.
It's this 50-50 booking that just... It doesn't work, and it takes out any excitement or any interest in any feud, because we already know what's going to happen. Whether it be the Owens thing with Strowman or Roman's whole career, it's just...
Although I did pick Braun in that match, and Braun basically made himself lose, which is...
Yeah, I mean, he won. He lost, but he won at the same time, so...
Yeah. he went in there and knew that he was going to lose, but he wanted to at least destroy Kevin Owens to the point where it made him look like he actually won the match.
Yeah.
Well, I got one question. So I didn't get to see this, but did Kevin Owens actually, his foot hit the mat, or did he fall on the table and stay on the table?
He bounced right off the table.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to be like, if his foot never actually hit the floor...
Yeah,
Braun Strowman can still technically win as long as Kevin Owens is on that announce table. But
right.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, it's just I don't like how uncreative they are. They have to copy a spot they've already done before. They really couldn't. Like they went all creative. I mean, even I have a feeling. Remember when the Brock Lesnar speared Roman through the cage, or Roman speared Brock through the cage? They've done that before, right?
Yeah. Big Show, I think.
I think you're just running out of stuff to do in the steel cage. If you're running out of stuff to do in the steel cage match to do a big spot, then don't do it. Don't do it. Don't just do it for the sake of creating a nostalgia moment. Well, their excuse is going to be like, oh, well, people are going to remember this for Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman throughout the years. They're going to be like, oh, remember that cage match in Pittsburgh at the Extreme Rules? Blah, 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 blah. Like, no. I'm not going to remember this. 10 years from now, you'll mention to me, I'll be like, I don't even remember what pay-per-view that was. I'll probably have to go back and look it up.
Yeah, and back then, they used to do these spots because they were memorable. I mean, example, Undertaker, Mankind. We're still talking about it 10, 15, 20 years later. This Kevin Owens spot, no one's talking about. The only thing anyone's talking about, Extreme Rules, is the crowd.
Literally
so it's like that whole spot was just pointless.
Yeah. It's sad. Speaking of sad, we'll move on here. I mentioned it in our Extreme Rules predictions that I had 1% hope for Asuka after this Sunday, and if she lost, it would be gone. Ladies and gentlemen, it's officially gone. I have 0% hope in Asuka anymore after what we watched. I don't even call this a wrestling match. This was a disgrace to Asuka. This is a disgrace to Carmella. This is a disgrace to the entire women's division. How do you fucking sit here and promote the Mae Young Classic, promoting the best women's wrestling in the entire world coming into this tournament and producing their craft, when you have Carmella that comes into this match and doesn't even fucking wrestle? What was the main focal point of this match? James Ellsworth. That's why I hated when he came back, because their main focus is going to be on James Ellsworth, and they're going to do it to the expense of anybody, and especially Asuka in this case. This is the worst women's match I have ever seen to date. This tops the cake right here. This was a joke. For one, you could see that in Ellsworth's entrance, the guy was heavily taped. Not even taped. He had so much stuff on him. Clearly, even in his sweater pocket that was sagging. I'm pretty sure James Ellsworth doesn't have a sagging gut and it hangs that much. Like, give me a fucking break. And I've been told by reports at the arena that the cage was lowered at one point in the match, and then it was rehired back up.
Yeah, as soon as he came out with like the bandanas tied around his ankles and just the oversized pants, and I was like, this is gonna be gimmicky as hell. And sure enough, it was sloppy. It was a sloppy match. You can see the vest or the kit that he had on to hang from the cage when he was getting hit, and the announcers even called it out. They're like, oh, is he wearing some kind of vest? It's like, dude, at least try and cover it up. Or it was just really sloppy. And yeah, the cage, you can see throughout the match, as Ellsworth was hanging, they were lowering it, raising it, lowering it, raising it. It was really bad. And I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
I'm done. Asuka means absolutely nothing to me anymore. She shouldn't be losing to Carmella twice at this point in time. It's just made a joke of Asuka. It's basically proving the point that if you're not one of Vince's guys that's built up to what you are today, if Vince didn't build you up, then he doesn't give a fuck about you. He'll do whatever it takes to keep his people on top. And I know I can't say that because Carmella did come from NXT, but you saw all the hype behind Asuka as she was getting called up from NXT in this big fucking undefeated streak. Vince is like, oh, I didn't create that undefeated streak, so now I'm just going to fucking bury Asuka. And he's done that ever since she's gotten called up. Asuka actually means nothing. She's not this powerhouse anymore like she should be. Like, what was the point of doing all that if I just don't understand it? Why? I don't understand.
It's really weird how you say like Vince is done with Asuka because she's from NXT, and kind of to jump ahead a little bit, but Asuka doesn't even show up on SmackDown, and then we end up getting Becky Lynch versus Carmella. Both of them are NXT girls, so it's like, how is this any better than what they have? They have Asuka. Give us Asuka, Charlotte Part 2, but they want to give us Carmella and Becky Lynch for SummerSlam.
And Carmella is one of my girls, but she's the worst women's champion I've ever seen. It's a fucking joke. Don't fucking sit here, people, and tell me that, oh, she's playing the heel character just right. No. She's not even wrestling. It's awful. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Can I just say, can Asuka, moving forward, stop saying no one is ready for Asuka? Because it seems like everyone's ready for Asuka.
Everybody was ready for Asuka.
She keeps losing. I don't understand. And can I just say, this year's Superstar Shakeup might be the worst I've ever seen. Like, the draft picks were great, but everyone who was a part of Superstar Shakeup has done absolutely nothing. Asuka is losing. I mean, the Iconic Duo, they've been losing. I mean, anyone who was a part of the Superstar Shakeup is either doing nothing or is just plain losing.
Andre St. Almas has had one feud. One feud. He is like, and another podcaster put this in perspective, he is like a $400,000 car that you just keep in the garage and say, I'm not going to touch it. You need to showcase that thing. You need to use that thing to its full potential. But no, it's like, no, I'm just going to stick it in the garage and leave it there.
Well, just to, it would be 400,000 pesos for him. But
oh my God,
going against AJ was great. That was like a pay-per-view caliber match. But it just sucks that next week they're going to say AJ versus Samoa Joe. And CN won't even be on the freaking pre-show for SummerSlam. So it's like, why even tease it? Why even go there if you're not gonna do anything with it?
I really hope they have a good reason on why Samoa Joe, or at least have I don't care if it's like a fatal 4-way #1 contendership match, but there's nothing against Ty Dillinger. But I just don't see how Samoa Joe beats Ty Dillinger, and Paige, who already says she has an opponent ready for him, goes, oh, well, your opponent's going to be Samoa Joe, and then just not give us a reason at all. She goes, oh, hey, your opponent's going to be Samoa Joe because he's #1 on SmackDown's top 10 for this week. And then SmackDown's top 10 will never be referred to again.
Did they bring that up? Because I didn't watch SmackDown. Did they bring up the SmackDown top 10? That's an actual thing again?
No, what's SmackDown top 10?
Yeah, because I think I remember it happening once, but I don't know.
I think that went away with Shane McMahon because I don't know where the hell he's been. It's going to be Shane versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam.
That's it. They need a new Constable on SmackDown Live. Constable R-Truth. We need Constable R-Truth on SmackDown. Come on, man.
I see them doing that because they need to copy anything Raw does. They got it. Just SmackDown's the watered down version of Raw.
Or you know what? Since he's injured, Constable Kane. Come on, you know you want to. Constable Kane.
You brought him up, so think about this. R-Truth has been on SmackDown more than the Bar has. R-Truth.
Anyways, back to Extreme Rules. We'll talk about the other women's match. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss. Who cares? That match was so fucking predictable. I was just waiting for it to end. I'm like, okay, come on. When's Ronda jumping the barricade? When's she gonna do it? They keep showing her. When they keep pandering to her. Don't let the kendo sticks and other weapons blind you from how shitty this match was. There's a spot where Ronda hit Mickey with something, or she did a spot to her, and it really looked like Mickey was pissed off. And then the way Mickey hit Ronda with the kendo stick, it looked like she was literally trying to fucking hurt Ronda Rousey. I was
yeah,
like,
are you talking about when Ronda threw her into the barricade a couple times?
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, dude, that is stiff as hell. And you can see Mickey James' face like, dude, calm down. Like, calm the hell down. Yeah, it was that match was it was boring.
It was predictable.
To me. It was exactly predictable, and I don't want to jump ahead to Raw with Ronda, so we'll leave it at that. Boring and predictable.
For me, the logical sense doesn't make any sense. I won't spoil what happened on Raw, but she's suspended. She goes to the show. She hops the barricade, and I mean on Extreme Rules. She was at the show. She jumped the barricade. No one stops her. She does whatever she wants. She breaks Stephanie McMahon's arm the day after WrestleMania. She doesn't get punished. And whatever repercussions she has, we'll talk about it on Raw. But it's there's something I want to say, but we'll leave it on Raw.
Yeah, I'm saving it for Raw.
You guys know what I'm talking about. This makes no sense. She's suspended and she's still attacking people, and nothing's happening. So I don't understand. Everyone, go buy WWE 2K19 to get your pre-order bonus, Ronda Rousey. That's it.
Yay.
At War Games, I'm jumping into the cage. Ronda can jump in. I can jump in.
We had another quick 3-second match for the U.S. title, which really shocked me. I mean, I knew Jeff Hardy was injured going into this match. There's all the rumors and rumblings that he was injured and he was going away for a bit. So I was wondering how they were going to do this match. Ends up being like a 5-second match, and Shinsuke Nakamura is our new U.S. champion. And just because you can't have Shinsuke Nakamura have his glory moment, just like the Royal Rumble, let's just overshadow it with something. What are we going to overshadow? Let's go right back into the cookie jar. Let's open the lid. Randy Orton. Yes, crickets.
And the crowd goes mild.
Randy, well, they pop because they're always going to pop for Randy Orton. But to me, I was like, of course they would overshadow it and bring back Randy Orton. Why do they continue to overshadow and badly book Shinsuke Nakamura? I don't fucking get it. Finally wins the mid-card title. No, we gotta have Randy Orton overshadow. It just proves again that it's all about Vince's boys no matter what. It's all about them.
Yeah, and as soon as that match was a quick little 6-second match, I was like, okay, someone's going to come out. I swear to God, I thought the dog was going to come out. Setting up the dog versus Nakamura for SummerSlam, but we get Randy Orton. And what appears to be a nut shot match they're gonna have or something because they're both attacking Jeff's nuts for some reason.
I've seen everyone on Twitter. Oh, it's heel Randy Orton. This is the best Randy Orton. There's no best Randy Orton. Randy Orton needs to be going away very soon because I don't even think he really wants to be there. I honestly don't think he wants to be there. He's just like Kane.
He's just going through the motions.
They have too much respect for the company and they've been here forever. That if they get asked to come back, they'll do it.
Yeah, you know what? Oh, I just want to say real quick. The best Randy Orton I always loved was the Legend Killer, and I always said that if you want a gimmick for Randy Orton, have him have a reverse Legend Killer gimmick where he comes back. Instead of attacking legends, he starts attacking all the NXT call-ups. That would be a good gimmick. It's a reverse Legend Killer. So there you go. No, but I can't write all of Vince McMahon's shit.
We can't have booking. We can't have bookings like that. We gotta stick to the rinse and repeat nonsense we get on a weekly basis. Can't be doing that, Michael.
Michael Chopper created.
Honestly, I'd actually want to sit through a 3-hour show, but unlike Raw this week, I didn't. I sat through maybe an hour and a half, and I said, "Nope, it's time to turn it off."
The only way I'm interested in the Orton Nakamura match is Nakamura won the belt with a low blow. Orton came out and smashed Jeff's nuts for some reason. So their match at SummerSlam is pure nut shots, nothing else. No moves, no holds, just all nut shots.
Oh my gosh.
Then I'll watch it.
On WWE 2K18, I swear to gosh, I've already changed Shinsuke Nakamura's second finisher to a low blow. Seriously.
Other than that, I mean, Extreme Rules was mad. When we had the AJ Styles and Rusev match was all right. The Daniel Bryan and Kane wasn't really anything special. I knew that the Bloodshed Brothers were going to retain, and they basically took Kane and shattered his ankle. Good. I hope he never comes back. The pre-show was decent. I mean, it was.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I think Kane is like legitimately injured. Do you think that would have changed the outcome of the match? Because I think he's legit out because of a broken ankle or something like that. I hope so.
If it's WWE.com reporting it, then it's not real.
No. I've seen a couple different sources reporting that he's actually out.
Good. I hope he sees that and goes, man, maybe I should not come back anymore. I'm getting too old for this shit. Stay away.
Yeah, well, according to The Miz, he's dead. I saw his head on a platter on SmackDown.
Yeah, apparently. A barely shattered ankle means you're dead, so... Anyways, Extreme Rules, it is what it is. We'll talk.
We're not going to talk about the B team?
No.
Come on, that was... No, I know. It was fun. It was fun. It was
not fun.
Yes, it was. I mean,
it was not fun.
What were the broken...
They've ruined Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. It was fucking... They're garbage.
But they were already ruined regardless. They didn't need these belts.
B team is horrible too. They don't know how to book Curtis Axel. He is the most underutilized, underbooked person on the main roster. With a guy with a name and background and where you've come from, and he gets pushed to this level is sad. It's completely sad. I thought they were supposed to push generation talent, especially like a third generation talent. They're supposed to push these guys. What's their deal with not pushing Curtis Axel?
Why can't they go back to their old gimmick? When Miz Taraj disbanded, why can't Bo Dallas go back to not his second one, but his first Bo Leave character? And why can't Axel go back to Axelmania? Those two gimmicks were actually great.
But Axelmania was just as clownish as this. I mean, it's not everything on the show is going to be a 5-star match. Not everything on the show.
Curtis Axel should be paying homage to his roots, and they should be doing that with him. I think he could get over with that, and he can get over with a lot of the fans out there because when they'll push it and they'll plug it in that he's from, he's a son of former WWF, like his dad and grandpa were both huge in the WWE. Why don't they do that? They never mention anything about his dad ever whenever he's on TV.
At this point, I know you're gonna hate me. At this point, I'm not even gonna say it. I mean,
no. Say your piece.
Was Mr. Perfect that great?
Yes.
I mean, was he really? I mean, or was he
really
wasn't good
on the Rock
mid-carder?
Or Stone Cold level, but he was one of the greats. Like he's a
remembered
great superstar.
great
his gimmick was awesome.
mid-carder.
Mr. Perfect gimmick was awesome.
I mean,
agree.
he was
I
no Roman
agree.
Reigns or Jinder Mahal, but you know, it's
But I don't
pretty
even
good.
put Curtis Axel into that mid-card level. He's not pushed
He's,
like a
he's
mid-carder.
he's a champion. He's a tag champion.
He's a jobber champion. They're not. The titles are not going to last around the waist of the B team. They're about to lose these titles to the Authors of Pain anytime now.
I 100% agree. These guys are not going to have a huge reign. All I'm saying is it was fun. The Wyatt didn't need it. They're not going anywhere with it.
I don't go looking into a wrestling match looking for fun. I look for professional wrestling, and I know that's not what it is. It's WWE. It's sports entertainment. Nah.
You gotta remember it's a little bit of everything for everyone.
It's not
because
the main roster is literally just straight up sports entertainment.
If you want just wrestling and a great wrestling show, go watch New Japan with the 50,000 people.
I will. They actually know how to produce people. They know how to build characters. They know how to make the character work for that person. But it's not. No one's watching it. There is people that watch it. There's more of a following than you think there is.
I'm going on the numbers. I'm just saying you got New Japan getting TNA numbers, but no one wants to say anything just because it's New Japan.
New Japan is getting more than TNA numbers.
New Japan is getting 100,000 viewers, maybe, on a good night. Maybe. But just because they do the flip-flops and this is awesome and the 5-stars, it's just... I get it, and I like all that stuff, but we can't take away the fact that WWE's been doing this forever. Look at... Nowadays, Mr. Perfect would be...
It doesn't matter. It's
shit on.
They're doing
shit
what
on
wrestling
nowadays.
is today. They're adapting with where wrestling is going today. WWE is stuck in their little time loop, in their little trance, in their little rinse and repeat garbage that they won't ever change. They won't ever adapt with what wrestling is becoming today. That's why NXT is working. That's why NXT is succeeding, because they are adapting with wrestling today and what wrestling is today. They are moving along. They are not sticking to the same formulaic garbage that WWE is doing, and we're wondering why the main roster is not working and getting the lowest viewership ratings in 25 years, because it's the same crap. It's like fucking the amusement park here in Niagara Falls. Marineland. It's literally been the same fucking amusement park for like the last 50 years. They've literally not changed one thing about it, and they're having every year their attendance lowers and lowers and lowers and lowers.
But if we're talking about wrestling, what they're adapting to what it is today, it's the worst it's ever been. And people want to talk about wrestling is the best it's ever been because of the indies and stuff like that. It's like, no, it's not. I mean, this whole all-in thing, it's going to take you 1 year to get 10,000 people in an arena. And that's supposed to be wrestling.
Year. It's been less than 1 year.
Yes, it does. It's been promoted for a year. And they still haven't sold it out.
It is sold out. They sold out in 16 minutes.
It's supposedly sold out.
Why would they lie?
But,
I'm sure they'd be doing just fine if it wasn't sold out. And they wouldn't be gloating about it.
It's taken them a year, and you have to stack this up to do... So you think they can do... WWE does, 10,000 every Monday and Tuesday. You think New Japan, you think ROH can do that? No, probably. It's not.
If they started showing more, started showing more in North America, they probably could.
They're on two different networks. What more? They're on. They have their own cable.
Well, they don't have the major networks that WWE does. If they did, I'm pretty sure that they would get more viewers. Or because just as much.
But there's a reason for that, because no one is interested in that. No one knows who Takahashi
the company heads are the same. Like the company heads are stuck in what Vince McMahon's stuck in. Like they think the same thing as him. They won't give these other places a chance because they're stuck with WWE, and that's what they're stick with. They stick with WWE because that's what they know. They're afraid to adapt with the times.
I just think it's not fair to say, oh, we want 5-star wrestling, we want this and that, because it's proven that no one it's not. That doesn't sell to the mainstream. That doesn't sell merch. That doesn't sell TV. That doesn't sell
to the mainstream. It does sell to the mainstream. If it didn't,
how long has ROH been around?
Raw wouldn't be getting its lowest viewership ratings ever if it wasn't becoming mainstream.
How long has ROH been around, and they can't do it because they're just focused on in-ring performance, which is great.
Well, they're starting. They're adapting. They're the ones who are adapting. Look what they did. Their G1 thing is at Madison Square Garden next year. It's official.
People like to say adapting and this and that. It took them 20 years.
So WWE, it took them a while. If you remember that,
it took them 20 years to get MSG one night, and I will tell you right now, MSG is not going to sell out with ROH. It's not. And if it does,
I'll prove to you it will sell out.
And if it does, I want to see them sell it out more than once a year.
When's the last time WWE sold out an actual pay-per-view event? And don't give me this bullshit where they don't give they over-exaggerate in the numbers. Clearly, WrestleMania when they said it was over 100,000. No, it was not even close.
Okay, let's say it wasn't 100,000. It's still 60, 70,000 people.
They barely have time filling Raw or SmackDowns.
But they do it every single week for 52
don't.
weeks a year.
I constantly see pictures on Twitter of people saying, look how many goddamn empty seats are here.
A half-empty Raw show is still more than a 500
But I just proved that it wasn't sold out.
But it's still more than a 500-person Ring of Honor show.
It's not sold out.
No one is watching Ring of Honor. No one is watching TNA. No one is watching New Japan. It's just, you can't argue the numbers. You can't.
Numbers.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I think we're about to hit the 40-minute mark. Shall we? Sorry to interrupt this great debate.
Let's talk about Raw and SmackDown this week. The great Raw and SmackDown. It's so perfect.
Oh, geez.
Oh, what do we have on Raw? Did we have Brock Lesnar? No, I'll copy something from the crowd on Extreme Rules. No Brock Lesnar. We had Paul Heyman show up. No, but we had no Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman shows up to Raw on Lesnar's behalf. Of course. And Angle is told that he tells Lesnar, he tells Angle that Lesnar is going to wrestle at SummerSlam. So we know Lesnar is going to wrestle at SummerSlam. And what does Monday Night Raw do? We just go right back to Chapter 1 of the formulaic garbage book. We put 2 number 1 contender triple threat matches with the winners of each facing each other next week. And what do? They separate Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns into both triple threat matches. Now, are you fucking kidding me? Do they actually think we sat here and think it was going to be someone else? They went the most obvious route here. The most simple garbage route. And what do we get out of the end? We're getting Roman Reigns against Bobby Lashley next week. Wow. I'm glad. Raw should be selling out every week because of that. Holy shit. Fuck New Japan. I'm going to be watching this garbage.
Whoa! But on the main roster, you get a match that was so great a couple of nights ago, 24 hours ago. You're gonna get it again. Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns.
All right, so happy for that. I know Brian is. Brian can't wait for the big dog.
I got my ringside seats for SummerSlam. I'm gonna have my Roman Reigns shirt on. I'm ready to go.
Your foam finger. You have the foam fist of Roman Reigns, so you can raise your fist up as soon as he does it on the turnbuckle.
It's a Superman fist, please. Thank you very much.
Superman fist. Yeah, my bad.
By the way, it's gonna be so predictable that Braun Strowman's cashing in on Roman. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's gonna happen. I'd be surprised if Braun Strowman did not cash in. So
here's a little fantasy booking. What if we have a 3? I mean, I think it's gonna go triple threat. There's gonna be some kind of wonky finish next week, of course.
Either way, it's gonna be garbage.
I think it's gonna be garbage, but let's just throw something way out there. I'm gonna just throw it out there, just something crazy. How about you have the triple threat, and who is gonna be the guest referee of the match, and raise Bobby Lashley's hand?
Jinder Mahal,
the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Oh my God.
He's gonna help Lashley win. Look, guys, I don't have a problem with these people. I'm throwing it out there. I swear to God, if it happens, I don't even know what to say.
I don't even think Bobby Lashley would let him raise his hand.
I'm gonna throw it out there, and Vince, I know you're listening. Book it.
They're so uncreative.
It's a new day.
Raw
yes, it
is actually. It just went right back. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they got their another low viewership rating this week. maybe even just as low as we got last week. It was so bad. To follow a pay-per-view, you're going to give us that shit, the same garbage we always get, and then you're going to get people, I'm going to let Michael rant about this because it really ticked me off about the whole Ronda Rousey thing last night, or on Monday Night Raw. That was, are you fucking kidding me? The one that made her do the Roman entrance. I don't know why the fuck they were doing that.
Still higher ratings than New Japan. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's to throw in my 2 cents. So what we were talking about during Extreme Rules, that the part I didn't get, I didn't want to spoil is Ronda Rousey gets suspended. She still attacks him. Nothing really happens. Security doesn't even try to break it up. She does it again, and all Kurt Angle says, "Hey, you know what?" And he doesn't do anything until Constable Corbin says something, which is the right thing. He goes, "I'm going to suspend you just for 1 more week. You're breaking the rules, but I'll suspend you for just an additional week." I mean, if someone failed the drug policy, they would double it, right? No, just 1 more week. And on top of that, not only am I going to suspend you for 1 more week, I'm going to give you a title shot. There you go. This is Kurt Angle. And this is coming from Ronda Rousey, and Brian, I know you talked about, who said that she did not want anything handed to her. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Ronda Rousey," and this is nothing against her. I want to make it perfectly clear. I don't blame Ronda Rousey. I blame the way they're booking her. And they're booking her like Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Title shot after title shot. She's never even wrestled 1 match on Raw. I don't know what to say. How is she going to get her next title shot? I don't know what to say.
Up until this point, I was 100% okay with how they were treating Ronda. She was in a good match at Mania. They weren't overdoing it with her. It really seemed like she was going in there and earning, quote unquote, her spot. Now they're just shotgunning this, and it's insulting, like we had talked about off air. I get it with Ronda. She's a moneymaker. You know, she went from the UFC to the WWE. Like, I have a 3-year-old daughter. We watch UFC. She doesn't remember who Ronda was. She's been watching WWE with me forever. Now, because of WWE, she knows who Ronda Rousey is. She sees commercials. Oh, that's Ronda Rousey. So I get it. She's a moneymaker. But for WWE to be insulting us, like, that's what gets me wrong. Like you said, it's not her. It's the WWE. She literally said a month ago, "I don't want anything handed to me." And then they come out and say, "Hey, you're suspended. You're breaking the terms of your suspension. But as soon as you get back, title shot." It's like, what the hell?
I don't get the fact they have failing ratings. Last week did the worst ratings ever for Monday Night Raw. You know how you get the ratings up? Say Ronda Rousey's going to compete in the #1 contendership match. Guarantee you that 2.0 is going to bring it up to at least 3.0. People will tune in.
The ratings to go up and see at least Raw be somewhat successful. It won't. It's still going to have its fucking 2 million Kool-Aid drinking stupid ass people that will tune in and kiss WWE's ass every single week. Even if it's this shitty booking, they'll still say, "Ah, it was great. Monday Night Raw was entertaining. It was awesome." No, that's where you get your 2 million viewers. That's how New Japan doesn't, because everyone in the world is used to the WWE formulaic garbage. You know, see that when New Japan says they don't give it a chance.
Yeah, you don't see New Japan at all.
No, WWE has too many Kool-Aid drinkers.
It's insulting is all I can say with the whole. They were handling her so good, and now they're just trying to shotgun her. And by shotgunning her, they're just completely ignoring the last 4-5 months of booking her. Now she's best friends with Nia Jax. What the hell? I don't get it.
You know, both women's divisions right now suck. I used to say one brand was better than the other. No. I'm looking at Carmella being Asuka. I'm looking at them hot potatoing the belt between Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax. It's just, the women's division is absolute shit. I'm sorry. But it's the truth. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, none really much else happened on Raw besides that. We had those 2 triple threat matches, and it does suck that there's so many people out of those 2 triple threats that I would have loved to see face Brock Lesnar. It would have been something different, but why they go the same route, even if they do choose Bobby Lashley, No one is interested in seeing Reigns or Lashley face Brock Lesnar. No,
And-
not everyone does not want to see that. It's fucking like they're getting to that stale point. Like, even the casuals are fucking seeing it and don't want it to happen. The casuals are joining in on the boos.
It's Cena booking all over again with Roman. He loses one, and he wins the next 10.
But at least with Cena, he faced different people all the time. Regardless of him winning all the time, he faced different opponents. Roman is facing the same 2 people for the last year. I don't understand what their deal is with this guy. I don't. But what they did on SmackDown this week, though, if they continued to book SmackDown this way and by maybe turning it up just a little bit more, I wouldn't have a problem with SmackDown. I wouldn't necessarily love it. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Usually SmackDown's even worse than Raw, but this week I actually was like, okay, it was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, SmackDown I felt about SmackDown a little bit better than I felt about Extreme Rules. At least SmackDown, it felt like SmackDown flowed really good this week, as opposed to when they just throw shit on the wall and let it just go.
Hey, they fight. It's like they listening to the podcast. They gave fucking Cien Almas a shot. They gave him a shot at AJ Styles.
Exactly.
Yeah, he lost, but fuck, we saw him at least face someone worthy of what Cien Almas should be doing.
Yeah, and you just saw a couple, nothing extremely over the top new or anything really crazy to talk about, but just the little subtle things that they did throughout the show is what mattered. And I don't know if we're like reaching and saying, hey, they're doing the little things and it's getting better, or if it really is just, if it is getting better. I don't know if we're trying to if we think it's getting better or if it really is getting better. If that makes any sense.
Like I said, they can go the same way. If they went in the same direction they did this week and maybe just turned it up a little bit, SmackDown, I wouldn't mind. Like I said, I wouldn't love it. I just wouldn't mind it. Like this week was okay. And Cien Almas, I know they're not going to go in the direction of picking him. I would hope that right before Paige makes the announcement next week, Cien Almas interrupts and still gets his name in there. You need to start pushing this guy like he's one of the top guys in the company because they have the managerial skills of Selena Gomez is over the top. She's literally the female Paul Heyman. We've seen what she can do in NXT and all her promos that she did in NXT and how good of a manager she was. Cien Almas is money. You push him in that Del Rio style, that type of contendership, he's gonna be great. He has potential to be one of the best heels on SmackDown Live.
Sorry to interrupt real quick, but I didn't watch SmackDown. Are you saying that former Disney superstar Selena Gomez is now managing Andrade Cien Almas?
No.
Is her career not doing so well? Selena Gomez now.
But Cien Almas faced AJ Styles to open up SmackDown this week.
Yeah,
Actually,
and
a decent match. I felt like they were holding back a little bit. That's why I'm making my prediction of I'm hoping Cien Almas gets his name in there because it looked like they were not going full tilt. They gave us a decent match, but I could kind of tell that they can do a lot more, and we've seen a lot more from Cien Almas, so that's why I think that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was talking about, how SmackDown's doing the little things. I feel like they know they don't have the big name stars. So even the little things, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, or, well, you didn't see it, Michael, but Kyle, I don't know if you noticed, Zelina was doing, every time Cien Almas was getting hit or something like that, she would touch her shoulder, like, oh, he got hit here, or she would react to every single thing that's happening in the ring, like if it was happening to her. And even when he did the whole hanging up on the ropes thing, now she hangs right under him, you know?
Yeah.
Just the little things like that is what I think is making the difference on SmackDown.
Even the rest of SmackDown was pretty decent. Like, even the whole Randy Orton beat down at the end of it, like, that was...
Yeah, the Dillinger, Samoa Joe, like, we all knew Dillinger was going to lose, but he got in, like, a pretty good amount of offense. You know, it wasn't your typical squash match. The only thing I had about SmackDown was next week's booking of, well, if you beat Carmella next week, then you have a chance to beat Carmella for the title at SummerSlam. It's like, why do they constantly do this? Why?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so to beat the champion, you got to beat the champion, and then you can beat the champion, and then you're the champion.
Yeah.
Why? That was my only little, that was the only thing, the little grief I had about SmackDown.
I thought
the Miz.
I thought that was funny. I was just gonna say I thought that was funny. Him going to like the ring crowd doing the whole 2-hand like I'm sorry for your loss thing to everybody.
Yes, I popped. I literally popped in my living room like, yes, like I was like, this. Thank you, Miz. This is exactly what we're missing. Like I said, the little things. Like he didn't. No one would have thought like, oh, go shake these guys' hands. Like, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Well,
but the fact that he did it, and you're like, oh crap, that made it so much better.
Now here's the thing. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Do you think it's too early for them to do Daniel Bryan and The Miz? Because it literally can go two ways. It's like they're doing it now just to get it out of the way because they're not sure if Daniel Bryan is signed or not. Like there's two reports out there saying that Daniel Bryan has signed, and there's another report saying he didn't. They were just in contract talks. So I don't know what to believe right now. Do you think they're doing this too early?
I can honestly say that if Daniel Bryan doesn't re-sign, it could be a thing where he loses and he at least puts the Miz over before he leaves. I think that'd be really cool. So it's like so they have a backup. It's like so if Daniel Bryan decides to re-sign, he'll most likely win. But if he chooses not to re-sign, they'll book him to lose, but at least the Miz gets to go over, and he makes the Miz look good before he leaves the company, which I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan's very happy to do. So it's a match we all want to see before he leaves, so why not?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is I don't think Bryan's signed anything, so they can go two ways with this. You can go put Bryan over, and by putting Bryan over, you can still continue this feud until WrestleMania. You put the belt on the line at WrestleMania. Or if Bryan doesn't sign, like you said, this is a match everyone's wanted to see. This is pretty much, me versus Kyle, the main WWE star, The Miz, versus the indie darling, Daniel Bryan. And if Bryan does leave... No, I think
Can I be special guest referee?
Sure.
Yes.
You and Hulk Hogan. I think if Bryan doesn't re-sign, I think they have the whole moment of putting the story to bed, Bryan puts over Miz, does the whole Ring of Honor handshake in the end, and kind of shows the marks or shows the guys the Miz is pretty much over with everyone now, but I think Bryan passing him that torch, kind of doing the whole hand raising thing, is gonna cement the Miz as one of, I'll say it, he's been one of the best IC champions ever.
And by having Bryan heels of all time.
Yeah, and having Bryan. Yeah, having Bryan raise his hand and go off into the sunset back to the Indies or whatever, I think that would be like a cement moment for the Miz.
This actually reminds me of do you remember at SummerSlam when it was Daniel Bryan versus John Cena? So John Cena was leaving to film a movie, and so Daniel Bryan actually pinned John Cena clean, and he did the whole thing with the hold his hand up, and then of course Randy Orton came out and cashed in, but something like that.
Yeah. I just think The Miz is gonna go down as one of the best of all time, and just having Daniel Bryan on his way out, give him the nod, would help solidify him in the eyes of the wrestling fans, because a lot of quote unquote wrestling fans still don't accept the guy.
So who do we think is going to be the mystery opponent for AJ Styles? Like
Hulk Hogan.
On a serious note, you guys have any predictions?
I think they go predictable. Samoa Joe, even though it just, there's no build behind it. There's a couple of weeks, I guess, but Samoa Joe. I'm going with Samoa Joe.
Michael?
Samoa Joe seems like the obvious pick. It's a good pick, but I'm going to go with something different. I'm going to say Daniel Bryan.
Ooh.
But Bryan's fighting Miz.
Just a 1 week thing? Or maybe the Miz gets added to it?
No, because here's the thing.
A three-way?
You think it might be the Miz, but dude, how long have they been holding off on Bayley and Sasha? You know what I mean? We may need, just because Daniel Bryan may not re-sign, we may not ever see this match at all. And they've been stretching out Bayley and Sasha. Oh man, Bayley, I love you. God, get that shit out of here. But it's
maybe they'll do it next week. Daniel Bryan and Miz, winner faces AJ Styles.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think Bryan and Miz is happening at SummerSlam. It's tough. it's a really tough prediction, but it kind of sucks to say like you really don't care right now just because they're not doing anything with AJ. You know, there's no investment in anything that they put him into is just gonna feel like, okay.
I'm gonna go with the homer pick and pick Ty Dillinger.
Didn't we say seriously here?
I'm serious.
Hogan has a better chance than Ty Dillinger.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, I don't think
It
so.
should be Hulk Hogan versus the New Day in the number one contendership match. There you go. Book it.
Jesus.
I mean,
Do you hit random on 2K18?
What about? I mean, the feud already started. What about him and Rusev Part 2? And you finally put Rusev over.
I don't think they'd make a big giant announcement just for a rematch.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, but I think that would be better than Joe.
Yeah, poor Rusev though.
James Ellsworth.
What's he gonna do? Oh my God! If it was ever James Ellsworth, I'd quit watching SmackDown for life.
Well, you're supposed to be done. Maybe Asuka. Maybe it's gonna be Asuka versus AJ Styles. Anyway. She can't get a win in the women's division. Might as well try the men's.
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree now since I literally have zero faith in her. So why not?
Yeah.
There's a very small chance that I've heard from the dirt sheets. It's probably not going to happen, but some people have brought up John Cena. We could see AJ versus John Cena. Part 4. No, but you got to admit, almost every match they've had have been like really good matches. So
they have, but it just shows the lack of creativity. Then they could do so much better. They have the best roster they've ever had, and they just choose the same rinse and repeat garbage. I don't get it.
Well, then in that case, AJ Styles versus Big Cass. Book it in, man.
Wait, Big Cass? I forgot Big Cass is still. Oh, no, he got released.
He got released. That was the joke.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
All right, Mike. That's 2 for... You're 0 for 2, Michael, on the joke today.
I'll come back.
Comedian is not your strong suit.
Yeah.
Anyways, so on SmackDown is what it is this week. Let's jump right to, I'm just going to say, the A show. Yes, the NXT champs are starting the A show for this weekend. It was okay. I mean, we didn't get what we wanted out of NXT this week. It was more promo. I think we're getting near the end of the taping, so they save everything for the last taping, the big hurrah. Today was the ending. No, today was the end of the taping because the new taping starts next week.
Today almost felt like, hey, just in case you forgot who was on the roster, here's a whole shitload of vintages.
Yeah, we had promo packages for War Raiders, Velveteen. I loved Velveteen Dreams this week. That was really cool with the whole, he was setting the ambiance with the smoke and the lighting and basically going over every one of his takeovers and him being so over, which I really love that.
Did you notice at the beginning he kind of did EC3's that taunt he does where he goes to the left, he goes to the center, he goes to the right. So I don't know. Maybe they might be hinting at that feud.
But then we also had the promo. Speaking of EC3, him going through that hotel lobby and all those fans and what did he say to that one fan?
That one fan said, "Hey EC3, I like your suit," and he said, "Hey, I like your face. It's in the top 1%." I'm like, what the hell? All right,
then,
why not?
Who does he meet up with but the finest? God. Yes, I was like, oh shit, this makes sense. It makes so much sense because these guys were basically all about being rich and stuff. So it made sense, but then they figured out that their egos are too big for each other, so they kind of turn it around. And as EC3 was walking away, as they're about to fight. Conor Reeves goes, shame. We could have been the finest friends. I was like, oh, this is great. But yeah, a lot of promos. It was weird. But again, it was at the end of the taping. We did get a couple matches. We had Lacey Evans and Dakota Kai. And we had Cassius Ohno and the frick is that guy's name? I think his name was Ramirez or something like that.
Rick Ramirez.
Rick Ramirez, yeah. And we had Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross, and Candice LeRae. It was supposed to be a fatal 4-way, but we had the news before that Bianca Belair was hurt. I don't know if that's legit or not, or maybe maybe they've extended the honeymoon or what. I don't know what's going on with that.
You see, this is the weird thing. I can't believe anything WWE says, especially on their Twitter account, because they have reported sometimes when people get injured, and they are literally wrestling in the next couple of days at a live event. So
Yeah.
I can't take their breaking news for shit, honestly.
It's weird. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe the honeymoon, they had some like drawbacks, like there's like travel issues, and I don't know. It's weird, but they do all their tapings at once, right? So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's her honeymoon. I think she's still on her honeymoon.
I was very surprised with the winner. I seriously thought it was going to be Candice LeRae, but hey, I don't know what to say. Rematch.
Zane, so we're getting a rematch. I would have picked Candice LeRae too. I think I agree with you. I think they went the wrong direction with this. So now it'll be Kairi Sane facing off against Shayna Baszler, take over Brooklyn 4. I don't see them adding anyone to it. I don't think the Mae Young Classic's going to be done by then.
But see, it's weird. Are they doing this just to promote the Mae Young Classic? Hey, here are the two people who are in the finals around the same time the Mae Young Classic is going to go on. But
it's tough. Ricochet had a promo calling out basically saying he has the unfinished business with the Undisputed Era with Adam Cole. So I'm thinking Ricochet, Adam Cole for the North American title at Brooklyn 4. So I'm pumped for that. I didn't understand a word Ricochet was saying because I don't talk loser. By the way, okay, just for you guys, hey, before
That's
you crap
0 for 3,
on this,
Michael. That's 0 for 3.
This was a joke directly from Adam Cole. Okay, I did not come up with that joke. I know I love
their promo packages. I love Undisputed Era. They're all backstage hanging out, and the camera like changes angles every other second. It's so them. Like, it's so NWO-esque. I love the way they do that. So they cut another good promo like that. The War Raiders package was really cool, man. I love they put more into it, and it looks like they're hyping these guys really, really good. So I'm thinking remember that we were talking about it last week, that tag team match that we think is going to happen again at War Games in Los Angeles. I think War Raiders is going to be the big part of that. I think they're really high on these guys, and they're going to get a big push soon. So we got a good promo package by them. Like I said, the EC3 thing. Lacey Evans faced Dakota Kai in the beginning of the show. I actually thought Dakota Kai was going to win this match. There were so many chances near the end that it looked like Dakota Kai was going to win. And Lacey Evans hits our favorite finisher, the women's right, at the end, and then wins that match. So,
dude, her push is like a roller coaster. One day she's beating
down.
She's beating Kairi Sane this week. Next week she's losing, and then it's like, guys, are you going to push her or what? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So, again, it was just a promo-filled NXT this week. It was okay. Again, it wasn't the greatest. I think it's the end of the taping, but for what we got, I guess the main focal point was who's the next number one contender. I think they could have done a better job. But, see, it's another thing. NXT is not always perfect. They can produce mediocre shows like Raw or SmackDown, right, Brian?
I don't watch minor league baseball. I don't watch minor league wrestling.
Oh, minor league. Okay. Yeah, I got that sound effect. There you go.
Oh, B for booze. You're on Michael's joke book, I see.
Okay. Well, minor league, if that's how you feel. I mean, I don't agree with you, but I think NXT has better wrestling product. Just my opinion.
That's great.
We don't have the commentary, showing their boner through the TV whenever Roman Reigns or Sasha Banks comes out.
We can send the whole NXT roster to New Japan, and you and Dave Meltzer can give them 10 stars all day.
Maybe we will. Well, like I said, NXT this week, it was all right. I love the promo packages, and then the big championship match next week, and right before the show, they put a spoiler out for their tapings for next week, guys. So don't go on NXT's Twitter page. I don't know who the fuck did that. I don't know why they keep doing this, but there's a spoiler on there. So I highly suggest you don't click it if you want to enjoy the championship match next week. So I can't wait for the main title match next week. Can't wait. So NXT,
did you guys click it?
I accidentally clicked it because I wanted to scroll down and see the comments, but I accidentally opened the article, and literally, as soon as the article opened, it was one big picture of what happened.
Yeah, me too. I
was like,
saw
oh,
it, and then I was like,
thanks.
maybe. Oh, never mind. I guess I just saw it.
Oh man, I'm the only one who hasn't seen it yet. So.
Oh, damn it, Mike! Stop looking up your knock jokes.
Well, no, okay. It's okay. Now I'm confused because you guys make it seem like really big. So if like Aleister Black wins, what's so big in that? So I'm like thinking, wait, is Tommaso Ciampa winning? Because what else could be bigger? What else could be finest?
There's a lot of swerves. There's a lot of swerves.
I mean, how do you know we were even talking about the championship?
Oh well.
It could be the finest.
Oh my God. Ooh, okay, I got it. Braun Strowman cashes in on Aleister Black. There we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oscar went back. Oscar went back to NXT, and Kyle's having a wet dream over there. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Should be better booked down here.
Maybe she'll get a victory.
Boo. Boo. Boo you. Anyways, so that was NXT. It's Extreme Rules, the main roster. We touched up on everything. But I have really nothing else to say. Do you guys have anything else to say to end the show before we end it?
Was there any fan tweets this week?
Oh, there was fan tweets. Yes, we're
Oh.
going to get into fan tweets. I forgot. I apologize. I always seem to miss the fan tweets, so it's good that you guys are here to remind me. We got a couple just from Datila. I asked the question of what was your favorite match at Extreme Rules. She put hers was Rollins and Ziggler, I guess, but the ending ruined it. Yes, we agree. Also, Styles and Rusev was good. Yeah, Styles and Rusev was decent. There was actually a couple times in that match that I thought Rusev was actually going to get the win. I thought for sure they were going to go Rusev Day route, and they kind of swerved us with that.
Honestly, as soon as Aiden English pulled off that turnbuckle pad, I was like, dude, it's over. I mean,
yeah, that's exactly what me and Cappy thought. Literally, Cappy was over watching it. That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, that was the best match of the night for me as well. It's the only one that had
Roman and Lashley.
No. I was gonna say B team, but
I'm shocked.
You guys would rather have EC3 and two other jabronis checking each other out. So
yeah,
I don't know.
We will.
Hmm? Maybe Finn Balor would go in there and Balor Club Raw.
He can smile on the main roster and be a little smiley Finn on Saturday Morning Slam.
Oh, NXT. They're just so great on the minor leagues, and they get to the big show and they can't hang with the big dog.
Yeah. Don't have a shitty booker down here in NXT. That's why.
I don't speak loser, Michael. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't be stealing my lines that I steal from Adam Cole, baby.
Anyways, the two put aside from that, I didn't like the rest of the card. I don't blame you. The rest of the card was nonsense. But yeah, Rusev literally was on the verge of winning. That was very, very close. Don't say no one likes the finest. Even Cupid Girl in the chat. What's going on, Cupid Girl? By the way, none. I'm the only one on this finest bandwagon here. You guys a future North American champion. I guarantee it.
Oh my gosh, get out of here.
Kyle, the finest, EC3, they can all just sit there and chant "This is awesome" to each other all day.
You're gonna need The Rock to raise this guy's hand like you did with Roman in order to get this guy over.
Hulk Hogan.
Anyways, because I can't take any more Brian shit, we're gonna end the show here. We're going to end it with episode 107 of the Lowdown Show right here on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, guys. Your Canadian wrestling podcast that talks about the WWE and NXT and No Holds Barred on anything we say, pun intended. You can follow the podcast on Spreaker. Like I said, glorious podcast app. You can chat with us live on the air and listen to all previous episodes of the podcast. Check us out on Stitcher Radio or iTunes. Remember to leave us a 5-star comment or 5-star rating and a comment for a special gift from us. Or if you want to check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/NHBWR. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for all upload updates. Again, I'm your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, always joined by my two co-hosts. Number one, Hollywood Michael Chow, the host that runs the West Coast, and Brian. Yeah, that guy. Brian. Sorry, I'll give out the proper outro. The modern-day Vince Kool-Aid drinking ass, modern-day Maharaja, Brian. There you go. That's better, right, Brian?
Main event. The main show.
Okay, my bad. And we're always reminding you to keep it on the lowdown.
looking at the real deal now. Gonna kick your sorry ass out on the street. That what you got? You used to think you own the street. We're back to back and your ass is dead meat. Victory is sweet. Bring it on. Here's your receipt. Bring it on. What you gonna do about it? Bring it on. Is that what you got? Bring it on. So what you gonna do about it? Bring it on. Gonna kick your sorry ass, but what you gonna